How's it going, everybody? David Hedge here, House Hedge Gaming, and today we are taking a look at a game that'll have you drawing the essence from creatures using runes and counters, but also using shields to protect your life total. Let's take a look at how to play, in a nutshell, the Elekin TCG. Now, in the Elekin TCG, the objective of the game is to take your opponent's life total from 500 to 0. Now, to do that, you have to get through their shields, but also have to get through some creatures, but trust me, it's a little bit trickier than you think. Now, in the game, you will encounter, like I said, creatures. Now, these creatures will range from small creatures like corn here, but you also have dragons that you'll have to deal with. Now, on the creatures, you have strength and you have agility. And we'll go into this a little bit closer later on in the video. Now, you also have essence that these creatures will provide to help cast the bigger creatures later on down the line. You also have rune cards, which are normal and instant. So think of these in the terms of Magic the Gathering as sorceries and instant spells. You'll be able to play normal ones on your turn, instants on your opponent's turn, and they will go in a special area on the mat down here, right below where your creatures would be. You also have counter cards. Now, counter cards will take effect if something happens. So for this one, when your opponent attacks a blocking creature, then you'll be able to use this and they will just be played face down. And when something happens and the ability is able to be triggered, you'll be able to play that card. Finally, you have the shield cards. Now, you'll have 3 different shields on the bottom here, and they'll be mixed up, so you'll be able to keep your opponent guessing which shield they'll be breaking. Now, we've gone to the different cards. Now, let's show you the gameplay. Now, setup for the game is very simple. Each player will have a 50-card deck, and you'll take the 3 shields, mix them up, and you'll put them in the 3 shield areas below. You will set the essence trackers to 0 and draw a hand of 5 cards. Once you've done that, you are ready to begin the game. Now, during a turn, first you'll be drawing a card, unless if it's the first turn. You will not draw a card on your first turn. You will not go into your battle phase. After you draw, you'll be generating any essence that creatures will be able to provide. So, for example, if we had corn here already out in play, you'll be able to generate 1 essence of the wood area, so you just go to 1. That essence can be used to play creatures later on down the line who have essence costs up here in the corner. Once you're able to do that and you basically untap, ready everything, depending on what terminology you want to do, then you'll go into your main phase 1, which would include refreshing your creatures. You will then play a creature and you will set your counters and your runes accordingly. So let's say, for example, to play a creature, I'll play Pidip. Now, Pidip comes into play. He's ready to go with an action. Now, what that means, they're in the horizontal, they're untapped, ready to go, and they can do numerous things. They can attack, they can block, and they can dodge. And we'll go over that in just a little bit. If they're tapped, then they can't do any of those. They have no actions. But now you can also set any runes or counters. So I'm going to set this Power Surge, and I will set my Direct Assault. Put those face down. Now, those are set, ready to go, so whenever a certain situation arises, I can be able to use that. Now, after your main phase 1, you go into battle. You'll be able to declare attackers, and we'll go into that shortly. After that, you'll go into your main phase 2, which is the exact same as your main phase 1, so you can play additional runes or activate effects, or play any counters. Finally, you'll fully restore your creatures, so if they took damage, damage will be taken care of. Same thing on your shields, which would be on the highest tier shield, which I'm going to go into the shields a little bit later on, because that's one of the things in this game. A lot of the game I really like, but that is something that can be a little bit confusing. Now, let's say we go into my second turn. I draw a card. I draw Unbreakable. Now, my Pidip will provide 2 water essence. So during my main phase 1, I can go on ahead and play Melatonin. So I will go down to 0. And now I have a really big shark and a really cute platypus. But I got to deal with a creature that's coming into play right now. Now, the combat system for this game is really cool. So we have strength and we have agility. Now, strength is basically the damage that they'll be able to deal, plus it's the damage they'll be able to take. Now, the agility part is where stuff really gets cool. Because with that, depending on how fast a creature is, it could also depend if a creature could actually block it or not. So let's say, for example, we have Swoop here, who has 70 strength, 55 agility. They are going to attack. Now, they can do one of two things. They can attack a creature. If they choose to attack a creature, the creature can dodge. If it's quicker than the creature that's attacking it. So say, for example, if Swoop attacks Pidip, Pidip can dodge. Now, if it dodges, no damage is dealt, but Pidip's action has been used, so he's not going to be able to do anything else the rest of the turn. On the contrary, boy, that sounded weird, but let's try it again. On the contrary, if Swoop attacks Melton, Swoop has 55 agility, Melton has 40 agility. Melton, unfortunately, even though it's a big shark, it is not going to be able to dodge the attack. But then again, it has 135 strength. It wouldn't want to dodge. It can easily chomp down on a bird. Now, with that, say, for example, let's actually get another creature out here. Let us get, we'll get this one out here so I can actually do this. So, let's say, for example, we have Swoop attack Pidip. Now, Pidip can dodge if they wanted to, but let's say I want to try and get rid of that little bugger. Now, let's say I want to try and get rid of this while it's attacking Pidip. I could dodge, but instead, since Corn has equal agility to Swoop, they can block. And with them blocking, then we go into damage to see how much they deal. So Swoop will deal 70 to Corn, but Corn will deal 95 to Swoop, and Swoop will be taken out. Now, there are a lot of different strategic ways you're going to be able to do battle in this game, but the objective is to try to get to these shields. So let's say, for example, Swoop, let's say I have no creatures on board, because it's usually how it goes with me being a player of cards and Cindy just destroys me. So Swoop will attack him. You could choose one of these shields to attack, so we'll go with shield 1. So shield 1 has 150 damage that it can take, but it also has special effects that it can do if it gets broken. So any shield that breaks will be able to help you out in the long run. Now, Swoop will deal 70, so that means it still has 80 that can be dealt. Now, if at the end of the turn, after main phase 2, the shield is not broken, it will heal back to full health. Now, it does say in the rules that it can go to the next highest tier. However, those are here. We don't know where those are at currently. So that's the one thing that in the rules is a little bit weird, is how can it actually go to the next tier if you don't know where the next tier is? I tried looking up the rules. Unfortunately, it's not really as clear cut as I would like it to be. But the way we've been playing it is just, if a shield's out and it doesn't get the damage enough to destroy it, we just heal it back to full and go from there. If the shield's destroyed, it's just destroyed, but you have 2 more tougher shields later on down the line. So it could be really weird to see if you can get a tier 3 right off the bat, 450. It's going to be a little bit hard to get through, but then you go to a 150 and a 300. So having these shuffled up is a little bit on the weird side. It would actually make more sense if you just go, okay, I have to attack through shield 1, shield 2, shield 3. But the way that the rules have had it, these will be shuffled up. That's my one complaint about this game, is that the shield system could be a little bit more defined in the videos that we have seen, but having it to where each shield is going to get tougher than the next. It wouldn't go from, okay, this heals, then it goes back to shield 1. That seems a little bit weird, but I'm sure that in their gameplay it worked out very well. For us here, if a shield's broke, it's completely broke and we go to the next one. That's the way we've been playing it. But no matter which way you go with it, the shield idea here is a lot of fun to mess with, because now you have a lot more strategy you have to deal with, because you know that one shield is going to be tougher than the next shield, it's going to be tougher than the next shield. And you still have your runes you get to try and play, you get to have all your counters to help you mitigate any attacks and all. But the gameplay for this is really simple. It's really easy. And even though the game, when it got put on Kickstarter, it did not have the successful Kickstarter campaign off the bat, hopefully they can redo the game a little bit, make the rules a little bit clearer with the shields, and then possibly get it back on Kickstarter, because I promise you, this game is a whole lot of fun. The combat system is definitely worth checking out. And plus, the people at Elekin TCG are really cool to deal with. And I believe that this is one company that, given the opportunity, can do some good in the TCG community. But that's how you play, in a nutshell, Elekin TCG. Well, there you have it. That's how you play the Elekin TCG. And the combat system I really enjoy. Being able to have agility be a factor in a game to where it depends on the agility of a creature to defend or to dodge. I really do love that aspect of the game, and it makes it a lot more challenging to be able to get your creatures through to the shields and to your opponent's life total to take it from 500 to 0. Now, the biggest thing for me, and like I mentioned in the video, is the shield system that they have. You're supposed to heal your shields up to 300 points. And if it heals the full, then it goes to the next tier of shields. But there's 3 different types of tiers. You shuffle them up, and then you actually have them laid out on the mat to where your opponent can choose which shield they're going after. So to me, it's a little bit, it wasn't the best laid out that I've seen for this kind of a system, but I do love it that the shields have different defense abilities themselves, that they have different life totals where you got to deal that much damage to break the shield, because usually in these kind of games where a shield's involved, one hit, they're done. This one, you have to be a little more strategic to be able to break through the shields, and even though your opponent gets rewarded because you broke a shield, it's still going to be a little bit challenging for them to now go, okay, I got 2 shields left to go. I got to try and make sure I protect my defenses before they attack my life total down to 0. But outside of the shield system, I do love the runes and counter system that they have, to where you have to set them first and be able to play them. There's instants and sorceries, which as a Magic player, I appreciate. There's also runes that can enchant your creatures to be able to make them a little more powerful. And plus the essence system, being able to have creatures that start off with no essence cost, and to be able to build up your essence over time to where you can actually play bigger creatures, and even the dragons, which take up to 2 different essences. Like, for example, hold on, I got to break this sucker out. This is how prepared I am. So with the dragon, let me actually get the deck here. I still have everything in front of me. With the dragons, there's 2 different essences you can play. Yeah, I just covered it in my face. That's how big the dragon is. Roar. So the 2 different essences here shows you which 2 essence of either air, water, fire, or earth you'd have to use to play that dragon. And it's going to be well worth it, because they're big boys. They're going to be able to deal a lot of damage, and they are really quick, and they have powerful effects when they come into play. So this game has a lot of strategic value to it. The combat system is really cool. The essence system I really do enjoy, because the mana system is usually something to be messed with. A lot of games mess with it in different ways. This one I think is really cool, because you're able to do stuff on turn 0 and build up to other creatures later on down the line. Because the cool thing is you don't lose your essence. So even if a creature gives you some essence for a little bit of time and then they go, you still have that essence there to be able to use stuff for later on. But like I said, the shield system is the only complaint I have about the game. Everything else I really do enjoy, and I hope that even though Elekin TCG did not have the Kickstarter campaign they were hoping for, I would love to see them regroup, find a way to get this game out there somehow to more players, because I think with this game, it is a welcomed addition to the TCG world, and it can make a little bit of an impact immediately just because of that combat system. I really do enjoy it. But that's my review. That's our gameplay of, or how to play the Elekin TCG. I want to thank them for sending us the decks, sending us the packs and everything, and the playmats. My wife was very enthused that I got more playmats. But hopefully with them, I hope they're going to be able to get this going in the near future, because this is a really cool game, and hopefully all of you will be able to have a chance to check it out later on. But thank you so much for checking out this video. If you like it, please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and let everyone know the House Hedge Gaming is here for all of your gaming needs. But until next time, everyone, stay safe and take care, my friends.